Hello students, welcome to Learn Bio 360. In this video, we are going to discuss in more detail about the GATE Biotechnology exam, the syllabus, the preparation strategy, and how to perform better and score good marks in the GATE Biotechnology exam. So let's kick start and move on to the next slide to understand the GATE Biotechnology exam in more detail. So you can see here we have a total of 180 minutes. So it means like we have 3 hours of time and we have a total of 65 questions and which corresponds to a total of 100 marks. And if you clear this computer based test, so the GATE exam is a computer based test. So you have to practice online writing the mock test, so that will optimize your performance. Okay, so if you are not familiar with examination like computer based test, you have to give mock test so that you will be adapted to it. Okay, so that will remove the unnecessary lag or unnecessary tension during the course of exam. So if you clear this computer based GATE exam, so then you can get admission into MTech, you can get admission into the PhD programs. Okay, and you can also see some notifications from the public sector undertakings, so where they showcase that GATE score is mandatory. Okay, so if you join a MTech or PhD program, you will get the stipend also. Okay, so you are financially free. Okay, you can fund your own exams and you can fund your own expenses. Okay, and that's the better choice, and you can also pursue your higher education. So it's like a complete package for your future career in terms of education and a secure in terms of financial terms. Okay, so that's how it's necessary to clear the GATE exam. So if you look at the anatomy of 100 marks, so total we have a total of 100 marks, and out of these 72 marks are from the core biotechnology and 15 marks are from general aptitude and 13 marks are for engineering mathematics. So all these things together make up 100 marks. So if you want to score better and if you want to be a topper, then you have to focus on all the key areas. So why you need to focus on all the key areas? Let's try to understand in the coming slide. So you can see here, if you look at the complete map of this GATE Biotechnology syllabus, we have a total of 7 sections. So starting from the engineering mathematics on the top, then we have general biology, which is the core and basics, and then we have genetics, cellular and molecular biology, and then we have the fundamentals of biological engineering and bioprocess engineering, and then we have the application part, that is plant, animal and microbial biotechnology, recombinant DNA and other tools. So it's like we are going to learn the core maths and core biology, then the processes engineering related ones, and then the application part. So all the things are covered in this syllabus. So if you look at the prioritization part, like which topics you need to focus more, and if you are like uh, if you want to just clear the exam, then what your strategy should be. This pie chart will help you understand better where to focus and what to focus based on your knowledge, based on your expertise. Okay, and based on the scoring pattern. You can see here when we talk about the aptitude and the math area, like we have engineering mathematics and general aptitude, so it both of them together comprise of about 28 marks. And coming to the core biotechnology, so we have a few mathematical questions or like numerical questions even in our biology, biochemistry, enzyme kinetics. Okay, so those also comes under mathematics. Okay, and for microbiology we have 8 to 12 marks, and biochemistry we have 8 to 12 marks. Plant and animal biotech, it is also has around 8 to 12 marks. So coming to the general biology, we have 5 to 10 marks, and recombinant DNA is about 8 to 10 marks, and bioprocess engineering we have 10 to 15 marks, and molecular biology we have 15 to 20 marks. So this is an just an overview of the distribution of marks among different sections, that is all the 7 sections. Okay, so even the core biology, general biology, microbiology, biochemistry, all these three comes under one section itself. You can see if you are good at this section, you can score around 30 marks. Okay, an average of 30 marks. So that's how the core biology is very important. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. So like how the questions are being asked. So there are three types of questions. We have MCQs, multiple choice questions, and here we have only one correct option. There is a negative marking for this. Okay, and you will lose 1/3 of the negative marks. Okay, each question carries 1 mark, and 1/3 will be removed if you are given a wrong answer. Okay, and next we have multi-select questions. You have to select all the correct options, then you will get 2 marks. Okay, and here like we usually don't have negative marks. Okay, and requires complete correct combination. You have to select all the options. If you choose partially correct, you won't get partial marks. And next is numerical answer type questions. Okay, you have to calculate and enter the answer there. So for this also we don't have negative marking. So the best thing is that, like, based on your mock test, okay, so which section you have to attempt. So it's always, I recommend you to attempt all the questions in case of MSQs and NATs, because we don't have negative marking there. Okay, coming to the MCQs, you have to be very careful. Okay, so gaining marks is important. Sometimes losing marks is like will be a disastrous. Okay, so I could give you one example. Like I have trained a student long back, so I told him very specifically that you have to practice. As such, you won't get even a single negative mark. Like, you won't, whatever you attempt, it should be correct. But what happened is that year he has attempted well, and like he just came to me for just 1 month before preparation, and I told him these tips actually how to write an exam. So you should not lose even a 0.3 mark by answering the negative. So that's how you have to practice. So what happened that here, out of all the answers he has marked, only one was wrong, and he has lost 0.33 marks for that wrong answer. And because of that 0.33 mark, he has not qualified. Okay, so if that question was correct, or if he has not written that answer, so you would have like cleared the exam. Yes, you would have qualified the exam. Okay, so that's how the sometimes the 0.33 also plays an important role. So that's the reason you have to give more mock tests and make sure that you will guess you get less negative marks. Okay, so next, this is about risk reward ratios or penalties that I have explained. Suppose if you are giving MCQs 1 mark, so if you put a wrong answer, 1/3 of the mark will be deducted. And if you are attempting a 2 mark MCQ, and if you give a right answer, you will get 2 marks. If you give a wrong answer, 2 by 3 marks. Okay, it means 0.67 marks will be deducted. So for MSQs and NATs, like as I have mentioned before, no negative marking. So how you have to prepare? So the phase one is the foundation. So you have to prepare the aptitude part. Okay, you have to ignite your thinking process. Okay, so aptitude is actually what does it mean for, and you have to learn the engineering mathematics. Okay, and apart from that, you have to focus on the core biology. Okay, core biology, microbiology, biochemistry, molecular biology, genetics. Okay, so this is the early preparation. Then we need to shift our focus to the bioprocess engineering and biological engineering part. Okay, so where we need some like intense focus and practice. Okay, because this is the area where we get questions from MSQs and NAT format. So we have a zero penalty score, so we can attempt here better. And next is the stress one. So like the important part which decides the thing is that best preparation should always go with the best stress and time management. Okay, so you need to practice or give many mock tests. As such, you need to give topic wise, section wise, chapter wise, okay, grand mock test. And you need to make sure that whether you are doing it in time and how many of your attempted questions are getting wrong. You need to make a note of all these things. Okay, so how fast you are able to calculate, and there are some additional writing tips or tactics, so that we will discuss in detail in the coming videos. Don't want to bore you much now. So next is that the actual intersection is that, so whenever we have the questions, so they will give a mix of questions. Okay, so there will be a conceptual questions with some mathematical calculations. So we can expect such questions. Okay, and there may be an intersection of one topic with the other topic. Okay, so you can learn all these things in detail by joining our elite batch for GATE 2027. Okay, so we have a good number of faculties over there. We are going to explain, okay, the concepts as well as the PYQs and the expected questions and how to strategically solve them. Okay, so join our elite batch and make most of it. Okay, so this is all about this GATE 2027 or GATE exam overview. Thank you for watching video. So stay tuned to discuss in detail about the GATE syllabus.